The message came in the family group chat. Dad, after everything, it's best you step away. Mom, we all agreed. Don't make this harder than it needs to be. Aunt Claudine heart reacted. Uncle Jared, finally, sanity wins. I stared at the screen. 5 words. A lifetime of work, dismissed like I was a malfunctioning appliance. I didn't reply immediately. I waited 6 minutes. Let it breathe. Then I wrote, understood. Stepping away from the fun too. Sent. Closed the chat. Turned off my notifications. My name is Sloan. And if you think this is a story about getting pushed out, stay very, very tuned. What happens when the daughter you exiled was holding the only rope keeping you from drowning? That night, I reviewed the documents. I wasn't just a passive partner in the family trust. I built it, tightened every screw, spotted every loophole, made them rich, without asking for a seat. So when they finally told me to step away, I did. With every account ID, every access credential, every penny in digital transit. I didn't drain it. I froze it. Legally. Quietly. 3 lines of code. 1 signature. Then I went asleep. At 3:07 a.m., my phone started buzzing like a fire alarm. 89 missed calls. The first voicemail? Dad panicked. The bank, it's frozen. What did you do? The second? Mom, breathless. Your father is pacing. Sloan answer. Please. I waited until morning, took a slow sip of coffee, typed my reply with surgical calm. Just following your lead. And that's when the begging began. But this time, I wasn't answering out of love. I was answering from the high ground they built on my back. By sunrise, they'd gone from furious to frightened. My inbox was full. Subject lines read like smoke alarms. Urgent. Trust locked. Please talk to us, Sloan. Can we fix this? Fix this? They broke it. They lit the match the second they said, it's best you step away. What they didn't realize was I'd already stepped ahead. 3 weeks earlier, during a routine audit, I found irregularities. Money slipping through Cousin Blake's shell companies. Loan repayments getting forgiven. Vacations listed as strategy retreats. I documented everything. Made copies. Secured backups. Filed quiet alerts. But I didn't confront them. Not yet. Because watching a lie unravel is far more powerful than shouting into the storm. So when they turned on me in the group chat, I just smiled. Let them think they had the final word. Now they were scrambling. Because the family fund, it wasn't just savings. It was property, vehicles, stock options, 3 payrolls, and a reputation built on financial literacy. And all of it suspended, legally, publicly, permanently, until I decided otherwise. By noon, I received an email from our family's longtime attorney. Sloan, please advise. Are you willing to enter a resolution conversation? I replied with a single attachment, an invoice. Hours billed to date, 2,313. Compensation withheld, $0. Value of damage from mismanagement, incalculable. No greeting, no signature, just numbers. Because that's what they reduced me to. And now numbers would speak for me. That evening, Blake called from a burner number. Come on, Sloan. Don't burn the whole ship just because you got your feelings hurt. I almost laughed. My feelings aren't hurt, I said. They're archived, along with every lie you filed as miscellaneous expense. Click. This wasn't rage. This was reckoning. And I was just getting started. They thought I'd cave, that I'd throw a tantrum, fire off a few angry emails, then cool down. But I didn't raise my voice. I raised the temperature. By Friday, the ripple hit public. The trust's quarterly report, blank. Vendors flagged delays. A junior analyst at a firm we work with posted on LinkedIn. Is it just me, or is the Whitaker family office ghosting invoices? That one post turned into 3, then 7. By Saturday morning, our family name was trending, not for legacy but liability. And I hadn't said a single word. I watched it unfold from my apartment. Quiet. Clean. Far from their estate, where panic now lived in every hallway. Mom called again, left a voicemail this time. You're embarrassing us. Your father hasn't eaten. He's scared. Good. He should be. Because I wasn't just the accountant in the corner anymore. I was the dam holding back the flood. And now, I was letting it drip. Slow. Intentional. I uploaded 3 files to a secure folder, labeled each one by the roles they tried to define me with. The assistant, the weak link, the one who should step away. Inside, proof of every breach, tax irregularities, ghost vendors, luxury vehicles registered to a non-existent consulting firm called Crescendo. Their paper trail was a rope, and I was the one who braided it. I sent the link to one person only, a forensic accountant with a podcast and a following that knew how to smell fraud before breakfast. No press release, no statement, just the data. Let the truth talk. By evening, Dad texted again. I know we hurt you, but this isn't the way. And for the first time, I replied, you're right. It's not the way. It's your way. I just mirrored it back. Read. No reply. Because when you silence the one who built the floor beneath you, you better hope she doesn't pull up the nails. The podcast episode dropped on a Sunday night. Title: Blood Money. Inside the collapse of a prestigious family fund. I didn't speak on it. Didn't need to. They let the documents speak. Line by line. Lie by lie. Fraud, nepotism, shell LLCs funneling untaxed income. Luxury retreats labeled as charitable site visits. Tens of thousands misallocated. And the trust? Built, balanced, and protected by me. The host ended the episode with, sometimes the quiet one in the corner isn't fragile. She's the fuse. By midnight, the family group chat reactivated. The one they removed me from. Aunt Claudine. We need to manage this. Uncle Jared. Who sent the files? Someone inside. Mom. Don't say anything in writing. Sloane could be watching. Blake. Of course she's watching. She's always watching. Dad. Let me handle it. I smiled. Let him. By Monday morning, our lawyer resigned. Said he wouldn't be representing compromised interests. Then came the calls from silent partners, frozen endorsements, and a newspaper inquiry requesting comment. They panicked. They circled. But I had already stepped off their carousel. Instead, I wrote my own piece. Published under my full name. The Cost of Stepping Away. A surgical breakdown of power, legacy, and what happens when women are told to be quiet in the name of preservation. It wasn't petty. It was poetry. And it spread like oil on fire. Not because I cried for sympathy, but because I handed them mirrors. Reflected everything they never wanted to see. Mom texted later that night. We didn't know you were this angry. I typed, then deleted, then finally sent. I wasn't angry. I was invisible. Now I'm not. No reply. Just a message seen at 3:42 a.m. They tried to break me in private. So I rebuilt in public. And now, the spotlight wasn't on them anymore. It was mine. The fallout came in waves. Board members resigned. Endowments froze. One of our legacy foundations issued a statement, distancing itself from the Whitaker family entirely. But I wasn't done. I filed a motion, legally clean, unemotionally titled, Petition to Dissolve Whitaker Family Trust, effective immediately. Attached, 147 pages of documentation, audit trails, illicit write-offs, my resignation as chief architect, and full beneficiary withdrawal. It hit their lawyer's desk like a gavel to the temple. And this time they couldn't freeze it. I was the only one with the keys to reverse the lockdown, and I wasn't turning them. Not until they admitted what they'd done. That night, I got an email. No subject line. No greeting. Just this. You win. Dad. Win? This wasn't a game. They turned legacy into manipulation. Turned family into shareholders. They said step away, and I did. Right into my own power. I didn't reply, but I did write something else. A single-page press release. Sloane Whitaker has officially separated from all Whitaker family holdings. She wishes them peace as they move forward without her. I posted it at 9 a.m. sharp. No hashtags. No commentary. Just closure. The article trended within an hour. Every outlet ran the same headline, more or less. The woman who walked away and took the floor with her. But I didn't do interviews. Didn't take a book deal. Not yet. I didn't need the world to clap. I just needed it to see. And in that quiet, I finally did too. Saw who I became when I stopped trying to fit into their inheritance. I was no longer the daughter they dismissed. I was the storm they built, brick by calculated brick. 3 months passed. Long enough for the dust to settle. Long enough for my name to stop trending and start being respected. I wasn't called emotional anymore. I was called strategic. Savvy. The architect of her own escape. Funny how they always catch on after the exit. In that time, I launched something new. A platform. Private. Selective. Forge. A funding initiative for women disinherited by blood, but not by brilliance. Seeded entirely by my withdrawal from the Whitaker Trust. Within 6 weeks, Forge funded 11 startups, paid off 5 predatory mortgages, and helped 3 women win custody battles. None of them had a seat at their family tables. Now, they were building their own empires. The media asked for interviews. I declined. But I approved one story. A quiet profile. Title. The blueprint nobody saw coming. It told the truth. That the family who wore tradition like armor never expected the girl who kept receipts to turn them into a reckoning. I never said a cruel word in that piece. But between the lines, the cut was surgical. I heard Mom was seeing a crisis counselor. I heard Blake tried to start a crypto fund. It failed in 6 weeks. And Dad? He sold his share of the vineyard. Someone messaged me an old photo, the family at a gala 10 years ago. I was in the far corner, holding someone's purse, smiling like I was grateful just to stand there. I saved it, but not for sentiment, for proof. Proof of who I used to be, before they told me I didn't belong. Before I realized the most dangerous person in the room isn't the one screaming. It's the one writing everything down. The invitation arrived in cream cardstock, hand-addressed. Family reunion. 10 years of Whitaker legacy. Venue. Same vineyard Dad no longer owned. Theme. Rebuild. Reflect. Remember. Cute. I almost laughed. But I didn't ignore it. I RSVP'd. Declined. But thank you for the reminder. Because that's what it was. Not an invitation, reminder. Of the hands that tried to write me out, now asking me to join the chorus. Days later, I received a message from Uncle Jared. We'd love for you to say a few words if you change your mind. You were always a part of the foundation. I almost responded. I was the foundation, but I didn't bother. Instead, I booked a trip, not to the reunion, to D.C. The Library of Congress had requested to archive the Forge Initiative documents. Legacy in print. Impact in ink. I walked those marble halls in silence, holding a slim box of signed agreements and handwritten letters from the women Forge had helped. Letters that read, "Because of you, I didn't disappear." That night, I stood alone in my hotel room, barefoot, champagne untouched. And I let myself feel it. Not triumph. Not revenge. Something quieter. Completion. They tried to erase me from the story. So, I published a new one. On the same day as the reunion, I released a final statement. I wish them the reunion they're chasing. Mine already happened, between the version of myself they tried to bury and the one who refused to stay underground. It went viral, not because it was loud, but because it was honest. At the reunion, someone played it aloud. Someone recorded Dad walking out. And someone else sent me a video of Mom, sitting still with her wine glass full, watching the sky. The caption? There's no silence like the one she left behind. Exactly. 1 year later, I stood before a sea of young women, first-generation entrepreneurs, single mothers, trust fund survivors turned trailblazers. Forge's first annual summit. No marble halls. No velvet gowns. Just truth. Raw. Earned. My speech wasn't polished. It wasn't meant to be. I was told to step away. I began. To keep quiet. To remember who gave me a seat. I paused. Looked out at them. Eyes wide. Hearts open. They didn't realize. I built the table. And when they tried to take my chair, I lit the whole room with receipts. Laughter. Claps. Some tears, not just mine. Afterward, they handed me a plaque. Walnut. Gold engraving. Sloan Whitaker, founder. Fighter. Fuse. And I stood there for a beat too long. Because sometimes even justice feels surreal. Later that night, I walked home. Alone. No security. No heels. Just peace. A letter waited at my door. No return address. But I knew the handwriting. Dad. Inside. We lost a daughter. Not because she vanished, but because she finally saw what she was standing in. No ask. No guilt. Just that. I didn't cry. Didn't call. I folded it once and tucked it between 2 pages of my manuscript. The memoir's final draft. Title, Stepping Away and Forward. Weeks later, the publisher sent over the jacket copy. The last line made me stop. She didn't just leave. She redefined what leaving means. I read it once, then again, then turned out the lights, and whispered not to them, to myself, "You're never going back, because you never needed to." They handed me silence. I turned it into power. They told me to step away. So I did. And I never looked better walking out.